Hale. Good day, everyone. My name is from Tsartlip, and I am grateful and I am proud to be here this day. It's been a long year and a half, 2 years trying to wait for this day, and this started off as, sharing it with just a friend, wanting to be able to do this, wanting to make it happen. And the more people that we shared this with, they supported us and they jumped on board. And they told their communities, and they said they want this to happen in their community. That everyone was coming together. And I believe that everyone that's here today is meant to be part of this and to hear this message. We are so grateful for being able to be here and start up in the territory. I know we're visitors, so thank you for welcoming us here. Thank you for allowing us to be here. Thank you for supporting us. This is so important to me. As Curtis was saying, we did lose a brother about 4 years ago. And he was young, he was 17. He was supposed to grad that year. I come from a huge family of 8, so I had lots of brothers and sisters around me. To lose one, it was hard and difficult to go through. And I wish for no one to go through that. I wish no community, no person to be able to face this by themselves. So I'm thanking the people that have come up here with us today for their support. I'm thankful that you are here. And we are strong communities. We are people that are built on families and communities. And we need to hold that. We live and look around us in our neighborhoods, but our people have community. Not everyone has that. Not everybody has strong communities where they know and recognize and have seen you grow up and know about your life and your family. But we have that as people, and we need to hold that, because that makes us stronger. And we can do anything. I really do believe that we can do anything when we are together as one people.
It kind of just blows my mind how much impact she is having on the communities, and everybody's just overly proud of her, just really amazed at not only bringing that issue forward, but the physical run of 535 kilometers, and they're following her route on the maps at schools. All the youth are, and they can see, wow, and they're amazed that they're doing that, and it's going to make me a little bit emotional, but and myself included, that wow, she's between the 3 runners, they're running that far, and that's a lot of physical commitment and training, and to go that far just to spread the message, and then for her to visit the communities and the schools, to talk to the secondary schools and the junior high schools, and just to get her message out to the youth.
Well, my name is Kelly Paul, and I am from Tsartlip, 29 years old, and this was a run that was to create awareness and create dialogue in our First Nations communities, so that we could open it up and allow people to more freely and more, more openly talk about suicide in their communities, and to take a proactive approach, and what is it that they can do to help create life and sustain life in their communities. So that's why we wanted to do this run, and just again losing my own brother about 4 years ago from taking his own life. It was something that kind of stemmed from there, and not ever wanting youth to go through this, not ever wanting communities or families to go through this. So we tried to build a dream and a run or an event that could sustain life, and this is something that was created from it. It was a team effort. These were just messages that we kept seeing as we were trying to create an outline. The 4 messages that we came up with was to awaken your spirit,
Value your life, live your dream, and honor your gifts. Yeah, it's hard to describe it, I guess, in maybe a couple words or sentences, but you could say it was a roller coaster. It was an aspect of all life, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and connecting us all. It connected people right from the very north end down here to the south end, but also First Nations and non-First Nations, and more than Vancouver Island. People with friends overseas, had been talking about this and what we were doing. So in a huge way, it connected a lot of us, connected us, healed us, opened us. So it was awesome in so many ways. Probably when we hit that first 100 kilometers, I remember just finishing in the top of that hill, and my body was physically drained and I was emotionally drained, and so I think that was probably the biggest stepping stone of this whole trip for me, was just being able to realize, what was coming, what was really happening here, and just so many times running on the road where just releasing of tears and crying, and it wasn't just because I was physically tired, but everything was happening, and it's so amazing just to go through all that, and it feels like it's almost like a new life that was even awakening in me.
The first couple of stretches was, I think, 26 kilometers, and doing that for 2 or 3 days took a toll on my body at first because I wasn't used to running that distance. My name is John Sampson. My Indian name is Hale. I'm from the Tsartlip First Nations. I was born in Sydney, BC. I was asked to come in the run by the organizers like Bonnie Joe, and Kelly approached me about maybe 2 or 3 months before the run actually started, and that's when I decided, I wanted to do this. Actually, after she left from my place, when she came in to ask me, I immediately, got tears in my eyes and thought about healing journeys and about the people that have, gone due to this cause. And I immediately looked through my stuff, my personal belongings that I put away, like old pictures of my friends, and I played some music that reminded me of one of my friends that passed on. And right away I knew that I wanted to do this. Just brought those feelings to the surface. And I didn't really know Kelly or Bernice personally. I knew them just by name and seeing them. And it's like it was kind of like the creator or something handpicked us. And we were meant to be there because everything just fell in place. I mean, we connected, we clicked, we opened up to each other, and it was very emotional. And as we ran, we shared, and when we talked, we didn't write anything down or practice it. It just came from here. I was always a quiet guy. I mean, just always keep to myself kind of guy. This journey, this run has helped me to open up a lot and speak openly in front of people and open my heart and my mind. It was amazing to see my closest family come together like that, and they were telling me how proud they are of me. And
again, awaken your spirit is just a huge part. We're spiritual people, and again, so that's, you know, maybe our people have been asleep for too long, and we've let people just take up the forefront, but maybe it's time for us, our people, to wake up and really to be put in the front. And, you know, I think a lot of times people are coming back to First Nations people and asking, you know, how we used to survive, how we used to get along in life, and, you know, something that worked so well for our communities, you know, maybe start taking that as an example, that the ways that we had were working. And so maybe it's just a big message to our people. It's just to awaken our spirits, to, you know, get up and, you know, start taking our role, our place here. And whether it be through spiritual practices or through our people, just, you know, it's time to wake up.
My name's Barbara Swanston, and I live in Campbell River. And I am talking to you today because I want to remember my son Terry, who died by suicide on August 21st, 2010. You need to raise the awareness around mental illness and suicide and eliminate the stigma so that people will go to get help. That's why I think it's so important to stand up and talk about it. I mean, you know, we used to call, no, people didn't used to say they had cancer. If a girl got pregnant, she got sent away. That was never, you know, there have always been things that were stigma that were not talked about. Only way that you start to overcome the stigma is to normalize it, is to talk about it. Because stigma really lives in a misunderstanding, misapprehension, fear. It is the time. You know, it really is the time. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is so important because they're part of, you know, it's like, it starts off like this and it gains momentum. And the only way it's going to gain momentum is for people to talk about it.
My traditional name is Hale. My English name is Bernie Smith, and I come from Tsartlip First Nation. Sometimes words aren't enough to express what we feel in here. And the lady that introduced us, when she said, "Speak what's on your heart," I remember that being shared with me before I started this journey. Because I kept worrying about having the right words to say when we went into communities. And my uncles always said, "Don't talk from here, you talk from here." And I strongly feel that as me and my brother and my sister run into communities and we're sharing, we're gaining strength from the communities, the elders, the songs, the drums, the food, the land. It's been an amazing journey. It doesn't end next Friday. It feels like a new life and a new beginning for us, not only for us, but for our nations and our people. I can't thank Kelly enough for inviting me on this journey. The first week we started running, I immediately knew I had a new family. That's my brother and my sister, my team. They're my family now. We have a connection that's going to be stronger. The further we run closer to home, it's going to be stronger, and it's going to be a lifelong family connection that we have.
Honor your gifts, and that was just being able to, again, just honor each person, taking the time to really see each person for who they are, and allowing them to run with that, allowing them to be seen for who they are. We want to honor people, and our people are always about trying to honor and respect people, who they are, and so we wanted to take that with them to make sure every person is heard. Make sure every person has a fair opportunity, chance to be able to express who they are. And no two people are alike, and every person's meant to be unique and different and have their own way and path in life. So we want to honor those gifts that people have. A couple things I learned about myself is learning how to embrace who you are, and just to be, and not just for me but for everyone, just to embrace really who you are, and to really let that person go, to let that person live. Never mind anybody else who's trying to redirect who they think that you should be or what they think that you should do. Or by acknowledging really who you are, I think you're allowing yourself to shine, But by you being who you are, you embrace others to be who they are as well. Just being myself, and doing something that I wanted to do affected many others. And I think that's huge. That's something I learned, just to really acknowledge people for who they are. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone has something to say. Another huge thing was, and something that has been a part of my life, or I have been taught, is just to listen. And so many people want to be heard. They're just screaming inside, listen to me or see me for who I am. And those are huge, So just embracing who you are, embracing who another person is, and listening to them has been a huge part of my last couple of years in learning, and especially in particular in this run, is listening to people.
Siam Nasiaya, Ainta Pekwalasselton Tanistanemo, Aitnashqualawan Quanis E Heitzebka Siam Nastimo. Good afternoon, everyone. I really want to welcome you and thank you for the work that you're doing for our peoples. And what you're doing in this marathon, you know, there's a certain distance. Every life is meant to have a proper beginning and a proper end when your run is finished. And you really, there's something like a metaphor, an example that you're showing to our kids of running, what it means to run, get up every day. Every day is going to be a challenge. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard work. It requires preparation and training. You know, it's an important example for our kids to see that kind of a fullness. And that's how we want every child to understand and expect to grow up with that in their heart, in their minds, that you know, they're going to live a full, long life.
And today I stand here in honor of my friends who've died because of suicide. And I know that their lives have to matter. Our people who die because of suicide have to matter. And you guys are making them matter. So Haichka Siem. In our community, we have a lot of challenges, but we also have a lot of gifts, such as culture, such as elders, such as people like yourself standing up to say, okay, this isn't right. How do we find a solution? We've had many things happen in our communities because of colonization, but it's only us who can heal that. It's only our ways that can heal that. It can only be our people that do that, and you guys are that. You guys are medicine for our community today. You're medicine for me today. I'm really honored because this week will be the anniversary of my late friend's death. And I think now I can think about how he lived, not how he died. And I hope all the people who've lost people to suicide don't think about how they died, think about how they lived. And to always be there for our friends and family when they're struggling. And I think that sometimes it's so hard to pick up a phone, and now we can Facebook and ask for help. Ask for help. If you need help, ask for help.
And I talked to her more and more about it, how far you're traveling and how much hard work you were doing to get this out to each and every member on the island. I was so grateful that you guys were actually going to come here, and I was waiting for this day. And it is really important. I really hope that everyone gets the message across and realizes from one end of the island to the other, there's friends and family near and far that are willing to listen online, on phone, texting, better yet in person. I think no matter if you're young or old, for taking your life has an impact on everyone. I know it's a long, hard time sitting here. Their patients are running. You can hear them rumbling and shuffling, but I really hope they're listening. It's really important how important each and every one of you are, and how valuable you are to your parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles. And hoping after everyone hears this everywhere on the news, everywhere, and who has seen you, the messages come out loud and clear. They're not alone, and there's places and people to talk to.
We are spiritual people, and this body is just a home temporarily, and it's a life that we have been given to look after. Be able to share in stories together, share in knowledge and wisdom, it adds strength when we're running out there. There's a lot of heaviness, there's a lot of physical strength, but a lot of spiritual, emotional. It's very a balance that we have to carry for ourselves when we're running. So by you being here, it gives us strength and it allows us to carry on for each step that we take. So I'm very grateful that you guys are here. A lot of our answers come from within right here in our own communities. And many times, we reach out there to other resources, but quite often we just need one another. Just need a person right beside us to be able to listen to. And when we let our stories be heard, it lifts that burden off us sometimes. My dad always used to say to me, it's like a sickness that you carry in here. If you let everything build up, everything that gets bottled in here, it's like a sickness and it weighs you down. So just share what's in you. Share your story, because you don't want to be stingy or greedy and keep everything to yourself. Share what you know, because you never know that person beside you might need to hear what it is that you have. When we have identity, when we know who we are as people, it gives us purpose. It gives us that strength and that next go again for the next day, because we understand who we are. And we teach our young ones as we come up.
First of all, I want to acknowledge my niece for bringing out baby Janelle at the turnoff there. We're reminded on every run, every community that we go into, the reason that we're running is for our younger generation, how we carry ourselves today, the messages that we're bringing. It's for our young ones like that. So I just really want to acknowledge you for bringing her today. It meant a lot to see her, and just, she might not remember, but you will remember and you'll pass that on to her. So I just want to say hi, Chika, for bringing her today.
You're awakening the spirit of everyone. And this is what they're doing. They're awakening spirits all up and down the island, all the communities that you go into. You're bringing medicine. It's true. All our communities being affected one way or another. But it's with people like you that are taking a stand to remind everyone that our spirit is alive.
I want to thank you for coming out and supporting the runners. And what they're doing is overwhelming them. And it's overwhelming for them to be here, to see the support they have. I really raise my hands up to the work you're doing. It's something we don't talk about. It's hard for us as First Nations people to talk about suicide. And what you said, suppressing that hurt only hurts yourself. And what you're bringing to our community and all the communities on the island today is medicine.
Value your life. Heliset Hale is all about that, and we want to make sure that life is cherished, that we value life, we value the person that we're next to, the person that we wake up with, the families that we're in. Value life, value who they are. Time is so short here on this earth, so let's value it, and let's not waste time over things that don't matter. Don't sweat the small stuff, and just really, let's move forward. Let's keep moving forward. That's what it's about. But I would also like to see our communities as a safety net and sustainable on their own, and to strengthen communities so that we have that, so that everything that we have is within our own communities, because a large portion of how we spend our time are within our own communities. So to strengthen our communities, to make sure that they are sustainable, that they are they can hold each community member is something I kind of learned along the way. And to dig deeper, look deeper in our communities, and that may mean going back to our roots. And you know, that's a continuous message that I saw coming along the way is, you know what, not to blame everything on residential schools, but you know, so many things that were taken away from us in the past. Well, it's now time that we need to reverse that and put in place again into our communities, teaching our language, sitting and spending time and gathering knowledge from elders, getting to know our land again, learning names, and that's all part of community. And having those teachers in place, having young ones learn that. So that was huge. Like, to me, I saw that over and over. So sustaining our communities, you know, making them strong again. That's something that was valuable and came up to me throughout this whole run.
I hope that this is going to be remembered for a long time. For the embracement of life that these young people have given us. Reminding all the young people and the people that life is important. That we must stay together. And this is what my family has done.
This journey doesn't end next Friday. I keep saying that. It's a new beginning for all of us. It's a new life. I feel like a new person. My brother, my sister, I'm glad they're getting to meet my family. My greatest blessings are here, my son and my daughter, my family. This is a spiritual journey. Running is more than just running for me. It's my form of prayer. When I'm out on that road, I'm not just running, I'm praying and giving thanks for my health, my body, my spirit, my friends, the love that I have in here, the hope that I'm sharing, the inspiration that me and my brother and sister are bringing to the communities. I'm going to borrow these words that I heard yesterday from a Selkwen, our elder, Hale. She got up to speak and her words stayed with me, and I want to share that today. She said, we as elders have a responsibility, and that really hit home. Because we as young people have a responsibility to our children, to our elders, to sit and listen to our elders, learn from them, and share with our children.
I'm a believer that a lot of it, I do believe, is it starts from the family. You know, from parents being responsible for their children. And they have a huge responsibility to be able to answer to their children and to look after them, to give them those coping mechanisms. And I think it goes back to just being able to look after your child's needs. You know, come time of need, those are the people that matter most and who are going to be there. So, but don't wait till it gets to that point, you know, and start with it daily. That, you know, recognizing, you know, when you get up in the morning, just being able to take time to ask, you know, how your kids are doing that day. Know what's going on in their lives. Because if that child believes and thinks that they are heard from their parents, it just gives them that security in life, knowing that someone loves them. And a child knows when they're loved. A child can fear fear, can know when they're alone, when they're abandoned. They'll pick that up. So I do believe that, you know, parents and families have a huge responsibility of making sure and checking in and knowing what's going on in their lives, but also looking after themselves as well.
I'll have people welcome you into our territory, and we're very happy to support the work that you're carrying out to do. It's very vital for our people. For our community to be successful, we need to all be seeing the same piece of the puzzle. The puzzle needs to be complete till we start flourishing. These are pieces of the puzzle that are unfolding, and we're doing it together. Knowing that we're doing it together is helping us heal each other, help us see each other become more successful, helping us support each other. helping us understand each other and our differences. We may not get along, but at the end of the day, we're still family.
Because it's important that us as people carry that here inside, that we're alive as people. That everything we do for our grandparents, for our children, we do it together. We build one another. We help one another. We teach one another. We love one another. We are as people beautiful, strong people. And we are full of love. We are full of teachings. We're a reflection of all our grandparents and ancestors. And all that knowledge here has been given to us. So let's not forget that. And carry that and live that and breathe it every single day. Because that's what roots us. That's what grounds my feet. And we are spiritual people. And we are healers. We are healers. So let's heal this too and move forward. And we need to go back just maybe to the simple things that we were used to have. Spending time with one another. Putting an arm around one another. This is what one of our friends gave up, a relative shared this with us. How we have arms to hold one another. We have ears to listen to someone. And we have eyes to see when somebody's hurt. So let's use those and carry someone when they need to be carried.
And along this journey, I'm picking something up in each community, and I'm borrowing words and I'm sharing experiences, not only mine, but from people we've met who are suffering. And what's in my heart right now is Tamo, the land, Silika, the children, Salhwen, our elders, Tihuya, our prayers. That's in here right now. And it makes me really shaky inside, nearing home. It reminded me about me and my brother and my sister. We had words shared with us, just like the Layla. You go in a big house, you strip, you come out. It doesn't stop there. Our journey doesn't stop next Friday. They said, be careful how you walk in your life because people are going to watch you. And they're not going to just say, that's so-and-so's children. They're going to say, those Saanich runners, those runners that ran from Saanich. And it made me realize how important we carry ourselves, especially for us to lead our children.
And our last one was to live your dream. That every person out there, you know, it's wild and, you know, there's so much that's available to us. So, you know, don't limit yourself. Don't put boundaries on what you can do. You know, there's so much, you know, you know, that's the 3-letter word that can just make anything happen. You know, this dream to run the island was just something that was simply stated and shared with a friend, and it just grew from that, you know, and anybody's dream can be empowered. Anybody's dream can come to life. And it's all about, you know, yes, believing in yourself, embracing it, going with it. So we want to be able to let people live their dreams and believe that it can happen, believe that anything is possible. What we want to do, for one thing for sure, I know that we want to be able to keep our community actively involved, that this message doesn't stop. We want to keep moving forward. We want people to keep talking about this. Maybe not particularly about suicide, but just being able to bring out life. How do we engage people in life and what it is that means to them? I think it would be great to start with being able to offer workshops in our communities. You know, maybe we could start, you know, what are some of the things that we can fix in our community? Maybe we need parenting workshops or and just camps for kids. I know that was a huge thing that people had talked about. Let's do traditional camps where we can take kids out and, you know, bring them back, unplug them from this world for a little bit, their electronics that they hold, and, you know, go back to learning how to play with one another. To even this run, we want to turn just to make a small run in our own community. Maybe we can challenge the communities up and down the island all to run on the same day.
Well done on the final morning.
If we are going to change anything at all, we have to have more compassion. We have to be prepared to listen and to accept people where they are. Most importantly, accept ourselves. To look at ourselves, to look in the mirror and be able to go, yeah, there's things going on in my life, but I'm okay and I'm a good person and I'm enough.